Welcome back, adventurers. In this video, I'll show you how to navigate the beautiful redwood wilderness, the ins, the outs, the secrets of Hyperion, and the jungle of Fern Canyon. As always, if you found we really brought you the value today, please consider supporting us with a like and a subscribe. We post links in the description below for all products mentioned, and post the very latest on all things hiking and adventuring as we show you where the wild things are. Here's a question for you. What's over 2,000 years old, stands taller than a 35-story building, and has seen more history than most civilizations? You guessed it. Redwood National Park's legendary coast redwoods. These giants reach past 370 feet and have stood through centuries of storms, fires, and the occasional hiker trying to take the perfect selfie. But the redwoods aren't just about tall trees. This place is a patchwork of lush canyons, rugged coastline, and trails that lead to some of the most unique spots in Northern California. Along the way, you'll uncover hidden groves, a fern-draped canyon straight out of the Jurassic Park. Yes, Spielberg himself filmed here, and coastal trails most visitors never find. Let's start at the very heart of it all, where the forest feels as ancient as time itself. The land of giants, where your journey begins. The first real taste of the redwoods begins in Jedediah Smith Redwood State Park, where the trees tower above and the air feels cleaner than anywhere else. Here you'll find Stout Memorial Grove, a 44-acre sanctuary that's often called the crown jewel of the park. The redwoods here average around 300 feet high, their massive trunks stretching upward and filtering sunlight into soft green glow. This grove is home to some of the world's oldest living trees, with lifespans that can exceed 2,000 years. Walking among them, you can't help but feel the weight of the centuries all around you. Stout Memorial Grove is easy to reach, but getting there feels like an adventure. If you're driving a smaller car, Howland Hill Road offers a narrow, unpaved route with sharp turns and forest on every side. For larger vehicles or RVs, park at the main Jedediah Smith lot and follow the riverbank upstream to the grove. Either way, you'll arrive at the trailhead ready to experience one of the most photogenic spots in all of California. The trail itself is simple, 0.7-mile loop with almost no elevation gain, making it perfect for families, first-time hikers, or anyone looking for a gentle introduction to the redwoods. Accessibility is a big plus here. No steep climbs, just a soft path covered in needles and moss. The best time to visit is from April to October, when the weather is mild and the crowds are even lighter. Arrive early in the day for the quietest experience and the clearest views, especially if you want to avoid the midday rush. Keep in mind that while parking is generally free at the trailhead, Jedediah Smith is a state park, so there may be a day use fee unless you have an America the Beautiful pass. Step onto the loop and you'll notice the quiet right away. The thick forest muffles the sound, making every footstep feel deliberate. The air smells fresh, with hints of damp earth and the green foliage. You'll find yourself craning your neck again and again, trying to take in the sheer size of these trees. Their reddish-brown trunks are so wide that it takes several people holding hands in a circle just to get around one. This is the kind of place where you slow down, breathe deeply, and just watch the sunlight filter through the canopy overhead. If you're after a photo that truly captures the magic, look for the spot about halfway around the loop where the sun streams in at the right angle. Early morning or late afternoon is the best for this, when the light is softer and the shadows are long, making the grove glow. Frame your shot with the redwoods on either side and the forest floor lit up beneath your feet. This is the moment that will make your friends pause and wonder if you stepped into another world. Beyond the visuals, there is this feeling here that's hard to describe. You're surrounded by living things that have witnessed thousands of years of history. The sense of scale is humbling, but also comforting. Touch the bark, listen to the faint rustle of the leaves high above, and let yourself be present in the moment. It's not just about the trees, it's about the connection you feel to something much bigger than yourself, if that wasn't made abundantly obvious already. Remember to stay on the marked trail though. The ground around these giants is sensitive, and wandering off can cause damage to the root systems and harm the delicate ecosystem. The path is clearly marked so you won't get lost, and you'll keep the grove healthy for future visitors. By the time you finish the loop, you'll have spent about 20 to 30 minutes in a place that feels both ancient and alive. Don't rush, let yourself linger, take in the details, and enjoy a rare sense of calm that only a redwood forest can offer. When you head back to your car, you might notice that every other tree you see for the rest of the day just doesn't compare. But the Redwoods have more surprises in store. Next, you'll step up into a landscape so unusual it's been featured in a blockbuster film. Get ready for a change of scenery, one that will make you feel like you've traveled back in time. That's right, Fern Canyon. The Jurassic adventure awaits. Fern Canyon is one of those rare places where reality feels more cinematic than fiction. Steven Spielberg filmed scenes here for Jurassic Park 2: The Lost World, and once you step inside, it's pretty clear why. Tucked into the Prairie Creek Redwoods State Park, Fern Canyon is less of a typical hike and more like exploring a living relic from prehistoric Earth. You'll find Fern Canyon near Gold Bluffs Beach, and getting there is an adventure in itself. The unpaved Davidson Road can be narrow with deep potholes that collect water in rainy seasons. High clearance vehicles are recommended, and trailers are not permitted. Before heading out, always check the current road and weather conditions on the park website or the rangers at the Cutchell Visitor Center. Davidson Road also has a vehicle size restriction, no wider than 8 feet, no longer than 24 feet. It's a remote spot, but it's part of the appeal. I will say traveling down this road was difficult, to say the least. We originally were going to park by the nearby trailhead and walk it. Something to consider is the car. We brought a Mazda and it did make the trip. However, it was a little bit sketchy in some areas. So do plan accordingly, bring something that can drive over potholes fairly easily, and do be courteous. The roads there do narrow, especially at turns. So don't go fast, just take your time. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time so you don't feel like you need to rush to get there. If you plan to visit between May 15th and September 15th, you'll need a free day use permit for Fern Canyon. These are available online in a first come, first served basis. There's also a $12 day use fee that's cash only for the Gold Bluffs Beach area, which covers the Fern Canyon trailhead. If you have an America the Beautiful Pass, California State Park Annual Pass, Golden Poppy Pass, or a current campground reservation, you're covered for the fee. Once you arrive, the adventure really begins. The Fern Canyon Trail is a gentle 1.1 mile walk with almost no elevation gain, but it's not your average stroll. The trail follows a home creek winding through canyon walls draped in 5 different types of ferns, some reaching up to 50 feet high. Mosses and trickling waterfalls line the vertical walls, creating a cool, damp atmosphere that feels untouched by time. You'll cross the creek several times, so waterproof boots or sturdy sandals with a good traction are a must here, unless you're okay with getting wet socks. Moving through the canyon, you'll notice how the walls seem to close in, making you feel small in the best way. Water drips from the ferns, and the air is filled with this gentle sound of flowing water. Sunlight filters in at the angles, creating a soft green glow that changes throughout the day. Every few steps, you'll want to pause and take in the details. The delicate fronds, the glistening moss, the way that the canyon narrows and opens up again. It's a photographer's dream. And because of that, you need to make sure that you arrive early so you can get those beautiful photos without everybody behind you. For the best photos, visit early in the morning or late in the afternoon when the golden hour light makes the greenery pop. Find a spot in one of the narrower sections for a shot where the walls almost touch overhead. The trail is rated easy, but don't rush it. Give yourself at least an hour to wander, explore side nooks and the trail, take in the atmosphere. If you go too quickly, you'll miss the subtle magic, like the way that the droplets gather on the edge of the fern or how the canyon floor shimmers with the reflected light. This is the kind of place where slowing down feels natural. Crowds can gather, especially in summer. Plan your visit for off-peak times if you want a quieter experience. Early mornings and late afternoons are your best bet for solitude and the best lighting. And don't forget to check out Gold Bluffs Beach while you're here. It's dog-friendly, so your 4-legged companion can join the adventure. Fern Canyon stands out not just for its beauty, but for how it makes you feel humble, peaceful, and a little bit awed. It's a reminder that some of the world's most memorable places aren't the biggest or the most famous, but the ones that invite you to a closer look. With your Fern Canyon adventure complete, you're ready for the next challenge, one that involves searching for something even more elusive, hidden deep in the forest, and towering above everything else you've seen so far. The hunt for Hyperion, the world's tallest tree. Hyperion stands as the world's tallest tree, an astonishing 379.7 feet from the base to tip. It's hidden deep within the Redwood National Park, and it's a closely guarded secret. This isn't just about protecting a single tree, it's about preserving the entire old-growth ecosystem that surrounds it. Hyperion's fame draws attention, but the park's commitment to conservation means you won't find signs or clear trails pointing the way. Instead, the wonder of Tall Trees Grove offers a chance to experience the same sense of awe among redwoods that are just as impressive and ancient. Visiting Tall Trees Grove is a bit of a process, but it's worth every step, which you can reserve on recreation.gov from 4 weeks up to 48 hours before your visit. Only 50 permits are given out each day, keeping the number of hikers low and the forest healthy. This cap is critical. Too many feet on the ground could damage the delicate roots and understory that have thrived for thousands of years. Once you've secured your permit, you'll get a gate code and directions to the trailhead. The drive-in is an adventure of its own. You'll follow a narrow 6-mile gravel road, no trailers allowed, and your vehicle must be under 8 foot wide and 24 feet long. It's slow going, but the quiet and the chance to spot an elk or deer along the way make it memorable. Let me tell you, my wife, with a baby in the oven, and our niece and nephew were ready to take on Hyperion. We had our permit, we had our water, our maps, our snacks, and planned for this part of our journey where we could get a full night's rest the day before. Yet even the most prepared hikers still can fail here if the park rangers don't change the combo. That's right. We tried over and over, front and backwards, and the combo just didn't work. We tried calling the number, but they weren't of any help, and we thought to ourselves, maybe, just maybe, someone will come to the hike as well. Wouldn't you know it, after 2 hours, someone did come, and they had the exact same email with the exact same combo. So Hyperion wasn't happening that day, and luckily the Redwoods is so vast, there was plenty more to do with our day. But if you are planning to find Hyperion, here's what to expect. At the trailhead, you start with the Tall Trees Grove Trail, which is a 4.5 mile hike round trip with a 3.3 mile loop through the heart of the grove and 748 feet of elevation change. This is a reverse hike, meaning you descend about 800 feet over the first 1.5 miles, then climb all that back on your return. Plan for at least 4 to 6 hours, especially if you want to linger and take in the scenery. This descent is gentle at first, with the forest growing denser and the air cooler as you drop toward the creek below. Reaching the grove, you'll find yourself surrounded by redwoods that have stood for over 2,000 years. Their thick, tannin-rich bark resists fire and pests, and their canopies create a world of filtered light and quiet. The forest floor is alive with ferns, moss, and fallen logs that host entire communities of fungi and amphibians. Look up and you'll see the crowns of these giants disappearing into the sky. Sometimes the best photos come from lying on your back and capturing the view straight up. And the great thing about having limited people on this walk is this is so much more manageable to do. This part of the hike is about slowing down. Walk the loop, listen for birds, and watch the way the sunlight moves through the branches. There is no rush here. Some of the trees in Tall Trees Grove rival Hyperion in size and in age. A sense of history is everywhere. Even though you can't get to Hyperion itself, the experience is just as powerful. Standing among these giants, you'll get a feel for what it means to be part of something ancient and enduring. But be prepared for the climb back. That 800-foot ascent is a workout, especially after you've spent time wandering the grove. Bring plenty of water and snacks. There are no services out here, and cell signal is almost non-existent, but still dress in layers since the weather can change quickly, and pack a rain jacket if you're visiting outside of the summer months. I would also like to note for someone to come to see if maybe they could let us in through the gate. There were a lot of mosquitoes, and we actually didn't come with any bug spray, but I will say out of everywhere else in the park, I didn't really see too many mosquitoes. I wasn't swatting my legs constantly left and right, but when I was there, sitting there with the combo, trying to get it to work, my wife was standing there with me, and she was smacking them off of my legs. So definitely, if you plan on hiking this one, make sure you bring bug spray. It is not even a recommendation. It should be on your must-have list. And while the Redwoods is unforgettable, there is another side to the park that's just as striking. Imagine trading the hush of the forest for the sound of the waves and the sights of the cliffs dropping into the Pacific. The journey continues, and your next trail promises a completely different kind of wonder. The Coastal Wonderland. This creek trail gives you a rare chance to experience the dramatic meeting point of ancient redwood forests and the wild Pacific coastline. Located in Del Norte Coast, Redwood State Park, this hike is known for its challenging terrain and the way it immerses you in both towering trees and ocean views. If you're looking for a trail that feels like two adventures in one, this is exactly that. To find the trailhead, check for the official park map or the National Park Service website for the most up-to-date directions. The parking is available at the designated lot, and you'll need to pay an $8 day use fee unless you have an America the Beautiful pass. Since the trail is more strenuous than others in the park, you'll usually see fewer people, especially if you arrive early in the morning. We love arriving early in the morning. That's when most people still want to sleep. The trail measures about 3.4 miles round trip, but don't let the distance fool you. The elevation gain is about 1,190 feet, and most of that is concentrated into the steep descent and climb back up. This is a downhill first hike, so you'll start by heading down into the dense redwood forest, moving steadily toward the coast. The path is well maintained but narrow in places, with soft ferns and moss covering the ground. Sunlight filters through the tall trees, and you'll hear birds and the distant sounds of waves as you make your way down. Plan on spending about 3 to 4 hours on this trail, depending on your pace and how long you linger at the viewpoints. Descent is beautiful, but it can be tough on your knees, so take your time and watch your footing. As you get closer to the ocean, the air cools and the trees thin out, giving way to the coastal vegetation. The transition from forest to coastline is gradual and fascinating. You'll notice how the plant life changes and how the salty air becomes more noticeable. Eventually, you'll reach the overlook above the cliffs. On clear days, the view of the Pacific is wide open, with waves crashing against the rocks far below the seabirds gliding overhead. The sound of the ocean is constant, and the breeze can be brisk, so have a jacket handy is a good idea. If you want to explore further, the trail continues down to the secluded beach. This spot is often empty, with driftwood scattered along the sand and tide pools to discover at low tide. It's a peaceful place to rest, have a snack, or just watch the waves for a while. Before heading down to the beach, check the tide tables. High tide can make some areas inaccessible, and it's safer to plan your visit when it's low tide. For footwear, waterproof shoes or boots are the smart choice, especially after rain or an early morning when the trail can be damp. Layers are essential here as the weather changes quickly near the coast. Fog can roll in without warning, and temperatures drop as you get closer to the ocean. Even on sunny days, it's cooler and windier at the beach and overlook than it is in the forest above. The climb back up is where the trail earns its strenuous rating. The steady uphill grade will test your stamina, so pace yourself and take breaks when needed. The return trip offers new perspectives on the forest with different angles of light and fresh details to notice as you retrace your steps. Each switchback brings you closer to the quiet of the redwoods, and the sense of accomplishment at the top is real. What makes Damnation Creek Trail stand out is how it highlights the connection between the two very different ecosystems. You move from the shelter of the ancient trees to the openness of the Pacific. Seeing how the environment supports its own unique life, it's a reminder of how special and varied this region really is. With your legs still feeling the climb and your mind full of new sights, it's time to explore a different side of the redwoods, one that connects natural beauty with the stories of people who fought to protect it. And that would be the Lady Bird Johnson Grove Trail, which you can tailor to your own needs. If you want to experience the intersection of natural beauty and the conservation history, the Lady Bird Johnson Grove Trail is the place to start. This peaceful trail in Redwood National Park stands as a living tribute to Lady Bird Johnson's dedication to protecting America's wild spaces. Dedicated to her in 1969, the Grove celebrates her environmental work and highlights the ongoing importance of preserving these ancient forests. You'll find the Lady Bird Johnson Grove Trail at GPS coordinates 41.3 to negative 124.02, just off the Bald Hills Road. The parking lot at the trailhead is small, so plan to arrive early in the morning or late in the afternoon to avoid those midday crowds. There is no fee to visit, making an easy addition to your itinerary. The trail forms a 1.3 mile loop with only about 73 feet of elevation gain, making it accessible for most visitors. The path is well maintained and wide enough for families, small children, and anyone looking for a gentle walk. This is a trail where you can slow down and let the scenery unfold at its own pace. Most people complete the loop in 30 minutes to an hour, but you'll want to allow extra time to stop and take in the details. What sets this grove apart is its elevation, about 1,200 feet above the sea level. Because of this, the area often sits in a layer of cool drifting fog, especially in the mornings and evenings. The moisture in the air brings out the deep greens of the ferns and the moss. The mist softens with the light and creates a calm atmosphere and feels almost otherworldly. It's a unique setting that lets you see the redwood in a different way than the lower groves. Interpretive signs along the trail show the story of the redwoods and the people who have worked to protect them. Here you'll learn about Lady Bird Johnson's advocacy for conservation, as well as Coast Miwok and other indigenous peoples whose stewardship shaped these forests long before the park existed. Take a moment to read these signs. They add a layer of meaning to the walk and connect you with the broader story of the land. As you walk, you'll notice the redwoods are massive, many standing for over 1,000 years. Their thick trunks are covered in textured bark, and their crowns reach high into the mist. The ground is soft, with fallen needles, and the ferns cover the forest floor. The air feels damp and fresh, and the quiet is so complete you can hear your own footsteps. If you want the best experience, again, you need to visit early in the morning for soft light and the highest chance of seeing the grove wrapped in mist. Late afternoon is also a great option with warm light and fewer people on the trail. Avoid midday if you can, since the sun is harsher and the parking lot fills more quickly. Finishing the loop brings you back to the trailhead, but feeling of walking through this place lingers. The Lady Bird Johnson Grove isn't a collection of old trees. It's a reminder of how much effort goes into preserving wild places and how each generation has that role in history. As you leave the grove, you'll carry a sense of connection to the land, to its history, and to the people who work to keep it wild. As we wrap up your Redwoods adventure, remember this landscape offers more than just scenic trails. Here you'll witness coastal redwoods that soar beyond 370 feet and have stood for over 2,200 years. If you love this video and want to see more, give us a like and subscribe so you can always stay up to date on the very best of hiking, whether it's the gear, the destination, or my beautiful voice. That's what we love and want to share with you, our viewers. So grab your boots, fill your water bottle, and go chase those waterfalls. It's adventure time.